and then he began to work. Then 1 week later, he worked home. So it's like, for me, even for me, nowadays, when I record that, it's still a miracle. So I think that's a great idea. Then a monk introduced me another acupuncturist. By the way, the doctor, the so-called doctor I learned is not a real doctor. He's a fisherman. Then the second one I learned acupuncture from is an engineer. He's also not a doctor. See, that is the fact of China. See, you look for good doctors, graduated from medical school, they're not really good ones. But these are good ones, they don't have a license. So, that's very funny, right? So I learned acupressure for 1 month, treat many people, great result, healing result. And then I learned acupuncture for another month. The way of learning acupuncture is very funny too. It's very romantic. Why? Because we didn't learn it in the classroom. We learned on the way, on the journey. You know, today in this temple, tomorrow in another church. You know, on the way, like a vagabond. And this acupuncture, this engineer, he taught me acupuncture. I taught him acupressure. So it's very interesting. So we just learn and treat people. Of course, including myself. So I learned that for 1 month. And next month, I went to Tibet. Just in 2 weeks, I treated 1,600 people. Every day, you know, I lived in a monastery, just surrounded by people, hundreds of them. The healing effect is so good. At that time, no Paida Lajin yet. At that time, acupuncture, acupressure, and bone setting, sort of chiropractic. Well, so many people showed up. So the Lama in the temple had to give out the quotas. So every day give out ticket for only 100 people. Otherwise, I couldn't even sleep. So I worked from 8 o'clock in the morning until midnight every day for 2 weeks. It's a lot of, for me, it's a great achievement. It's really great. So I think, okay, I go to Beijing, I should set up my office and begin to treat people, right? Then I discovered this is illegal. As I mentioned just now, you see, I don't have a license. So if you can treat people well, that doesn't mean you can do it. So I cannot do it. Well, I guess that means I have been given another mission from God. I need to further do the research to discover something better. At least you can do it legally. See what I mean? So, okay, I make the story short. I see more people, more doctors, more masters. They taught me all kinds of things. But then, among all these things, I discovered Paida Lajin. Why did I pick Paida Lajin? These are the 6 criteria listed. I use this. If it is okay, fit. If it doesn't fit, out. So it's very simple. Number 1, effective. It works. If patients can get themselves healed in doctors or hospitals, why do they bother coming to you? No. So that means this technique or method has to be much better than the mainstream. So how good it is? The very first example I often show people is my mother. My mother is a Western medicine doctor. She got all kinds of problems, you name it, heart disease, hypertension, kidney failure. And I often ask her, I said, Mom, what's the result? She has taken all kinds of medicine for over 30 years, 35 years. The result is more problems. Lower back pain, knee pain, frozen shoulders, and even the eye problem. Okay, so I taught her the way of Paida Lajin. She did. For half a year, she was still taking medicine. Until one day, I began to do the 7-day workshop. I asked her to come over. She said, I've already done this, it's good. but you are still taking medicine. What I mean, it's good. I mean, you are fully recovered without any medicine. Then she showed up 7 days later. Actually, from day one, she quit from all medicine. So from that day on, no more medicine. But 7 days later, heart perfect, hypertension normalized, kidney failure gone, and even the eye, she was about to get a surgery, no more surgery. Her eyesight better than mine. So now, for 3 years, zero medicine. But she was in perfect shape. Okay. Number 2, simple. How simple? If you learn something, it takes an hour, and you have to make notes, and then you have to pass an examination. In my mind, it's too complicated. When I mean simple, learn it in 1 minute, period. Okay? So, you are assured to learn this. Okay? You can learn in one minute. And you can at least check out, you can have whether you've got heart disease or not. Yeah. Simple. Number 3, safe. What do you mean safe? That means no side effect. I mean bad side effect. If it is good, then it causes another problem, like taking the tablets. It's good for your hypertension, but you've got kidney failure, you've got liver problem, that doesn't work. But after practicing for a while, we did discover some side effect. Number 1, side effect, losing weight. Some people lose, 10, 30, even 40 pounds. So that's a good side effect. Number 2, another side effect is good for the skin, all the pimples and color, thread will become. Number 3, makes you taller. Not only for the young, but also for the senior, for the 70s, 80s, People think I'm kidding. No. See, as people grow from a child, as they grow older and older, they get shrink, right? And then, more importantly, when they get very old, they get even hunchbacked. So after doing the stretching, they get straight. Then you measure, a few inches taller. Natural, okay? Number 4, widely applicable. That means it virtually deals with all the problems you can imagine. So it's almost like a hospital. All the hospitals, they have different divisions. You just use Paida Lajin. In Germany, in Switzerland, I was invited to by quite a few doctors. For that one day, all their patients, normally they would use other techniques. But that day, only Paida Lajin. It was perfect. So now I don't want just talk all by myself. Is Mr. Chat here? Chat. Huh? Yeah, okay. I want the local guy, Mr. Chat here, to give us his own testimonial, how he discovered this and how he worked. Oh, you can use this one. Why don't you sit down? Lighter.
Yeah. Okay. I started doing Paida Lajin when I found it on the internet actually a couple of months ago, about 5 or 6 months ago. I was doing Qigong and I came across a video of an older man slapping himself everywhere, so I was curious what it was. And I left a comment and said, what is this? And somebody said this is Paida and gave me a link to his website, the Paida Lajin website. And so I read all about it and I started doing it. My issues were certainly basketball-related issues, playing sports, and a little bit of loss of flexibility or ankle issues, lower back issue. So I started doing this consistently every day, pretty much. And I would notice maybe after about even just after a week or so, my vertical jump increased, which is a very good thing for basketball players. So I was able to jump 2-3 inches higher all of a sudden, which is actually, it doesn't sound like much, but it's pretty substantial when you're trying to dunk or do whatever else.